So, last week, I went away and my best friend babysat my pocket Oreo. First day, she texts me, pampering her with spa treatment today. Next day, she texts me, gave special brunch. Then the following day, she texts me, had a big party. I was a bit jealous. When I come back, will my fur kid love her more than me? But when I came back, Oreo was sick with diarrhea, skin problem, crying. I took her to the vet and she's fine now. But when my friend said spa treatment, she gave Oreo a bath in essential oil and bath salts. That's bad for their heart and skin. Then the special brunch was roast chicken pasta. That's bad for their stomach. Then the big party, she took Oreo to the dog park to play and there was a sick dog and the Oreo also got sick. I was so angry, But then I realized my friend thought she was doing a good thing. A lot of us don't realize the things we are doing that might harm animals. Animal abuse isn't always about violence. Sometimes it's just ignorance. So today, it's about how to love animals without harming them. It's Kumar VS Animal Abuse. Once upon a time, animals weren't our cute cuddle buddies. They were our employees, working hard, no HR benefits, no work-life balance. They were our pest controllers, protectors, transportation, entertainment, email, everything. But during the Industrial Revolution, humans and machines took over, leaving animals unemployed. Over the last few decades, animals went from protectors to paw kids, guard duty to couch duty, full-time workers to fur kids. Today, dogs are called kids, plants are called pets, real kids are called exotic animals. Pets are big business, but then came abandonment, illegal puppy breeding. People started treating pets as disposable. But thanks to the increased awareness on social media, adopting and rescuing and protecting our fur kids has become an international movement. So if you're going to call them family, treat them like family. Abandoned pets, illegal wildlife trade, animals suffering for tourism, fashion, and entertainment. So much cruelty. And sometimes we don't even realize we are part of the problem. So here are some facts. Over 1 billion animals are abused, neglected, or killed from mistreatment every year. And that's just what's reported. Your leather bag, fur jacket, it might have come from an illegally poached animal. Many centuries offering selfies with tigers, elephants, monkeys, secretly drug the animals or chain them for tourist photos. If you love animals, don't participate in such inhumane activities. After the pandemic, when everyone bought a pet, abandonment skyrocketed by over 200% globally. Last year in Singapore, the SPCA saw a 12-year high in cruelty and welfare cases. Non-governmental charities like the SPCA and ACRES are lobbying the government to institute harsher penalties for abusers while pushing for greater education and outreach. The SPCA has also started a rehabilitation corner to help affected animals adapt to interactions with humans. And schools have introduced animal welfare education because compassion starts young. So Gigi, you go and find out how much Singaporeans know about animal abuse because awareness cures ignorance.
Why do you think people still do that, right? They abuse pets, abandon pets, or like buy pets from like puppy mills and kitten mills?
I think it's a status thing. I think it's because maybe having a purebred, they think it's cute, it's very pretty. But I think for me personally, if you like cats and dogs, any cats and dogs will be fine.
Mostly it's impulse buy, and maybe at the time it seems like a good idea, but maybe they don't know how to take care of it.
I think some owners don't realize the work you need to put in to have a pet, so they just end up neglecting it a lot.
Maybe it's the idea of wanting to love something so much that you don't want to have a more of a soul tie with it, so you sort of buy it instead of adopt it.
I think they don't have the proper education on what exactly what is abuse for pets. They think might be just manja or I sayang them. That's why I'm showing them extra ton of love that could also be harmful for your pets.
Well, my dog was actually abandoned previously. A lot of people abandon them because of the overwork it takes to take care of pets. I mean, from my experience, so they just leave them at the roadside and...
So your dog was left like on the side of the road?
Yeah.
In my opinion, would be psychological issues. And the second reason, problems that they're dealing with and they don't know how to express them, so they express it in a form of taking it out on innocent animals.
As a pet owner, what do you wish more people knew or understood about actually taking care of a pet?
It's like an everyday thing. You have to feed it every day. You have to walk it like twice a day. You may not realize that like, oh, its water bowl is empty. You always have to have these things at the back of your mind.
The responsibility mainly is when you buy the pet, your responsibility to find out what you don't know, to learn and to take care of it.
It's just kind of love. You know, you have to feel it in the heart. They also have to eat. Like how we are happy, they also have to be happy. You know, that kind of kind act you have, then you take care. If not, you don't touch the pet. I mean, you don't take the pet.
People need to realize that different like pets have like different needs. Because sometimes like previous dog owners will be like, oh, last time I used to like not wash my dog or like not groom my dog for like 2 weeks and they'll be fine. But then this doesn't apply to like every single dog or like every single pet. So like they need to just be more aware.
Pets are like family. I think we should treat our family with respect. I think we should treat all animals with respect. I think we should treat all living things with respect as well.
Always remember, they are pet for life, not a toy.
How do you think that we could stop animal cruelty and animal abuse in Singapore?
Through education, I think it will help a lot to like minimize the pet abandonment.
Like start a campaign about how to treat your animal right, or you can bring like this app that shows different version of animals with different version of needs.
Try not to buy, try to adopt from shelter. And if you really want to get a branded dog, try to get from a licensed pet shop in Singapore. Don't get it to Telegram or what, so-called the smuggle dog.
Say if you adopt from a shelter, I wish the facility there would actually guide the new homeowners on how to properly care for your pets.
So if you were in charge of stopping animal cruelty in Singapore, what would you do?
I think the laws in Singapore for animal cruelty are pretty lax. Recently, there were a lot of reports of community strays are getting targeted. So I think harsher and quick sentencing for these sort of people maybe could be a good deterrent.
Some sort of regulation, I guess, for the pet shops. Maybe license.
I think I will apply the same laws for humans to animals as well.
All right, folks, I'm intern Gigi, and I'm here to distinguish the real pet lovers from the social media pet posers. If you have an Instagram account for your pet, I'm looking at you. Intros, please.
Hello, I am Shane. I have pets. I think they're okay.
Hi, I'm Cheryl. I used to have a dog, but then she died, so now I have fish.
Interesting.
I'm Suhaimi. I don't have pets. Who needs pets when you got kids?
They're the same thing, huh?
Yeah, kids more troublesome than pets.
Okay.
Pets don't draw on walls.
Hi, I'm Annette. I used to have a dog, also passed away, so I empathize. But now I also have a kid.
Oh.
But I also want to have a dog on top of the kid.
Good luck.
Why would you put the dog on top of the kid?
Today we're playing positive or negative.
Positive.
You have 10 seconds to discuss your answers. Question 1. Feeding your cats or dogs a vegan diet is very healthy. Positive or negative?
I don't know, I never had dogs. The closest that I had was hot dog. That's all.
Okay, answers in 3, 2, 1. Let's see. Negative. Okay.
My dog really likes meat.
The answer is negative. Both of you get the point.
Yay!
Cats and dogs both need a certain number of protein to survive. And they will get sick on a vegan diet. Remember that they are pets, not influencers. Next question.
Right.
Leaving your pet at home alone every single day when you go to work and you go out is actually okay for them as long as they have food and water. Is this positive or negative?
Why do I feel like it's okay if it's a cat?
Because you never had cats. I got cats. It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people have to do it.
sad, but they're okay.
Interesting.
I feel like we're doing Animal Planet.
Okay,
Right?
answers.
Positive.
Positive?
They're okay. They're not happy, but they're okay. They'll be alive when you come back.
Yeah.
And they'll guilt trip you because you've been gone for so long, especially if it's a dog.
I mean, I have a shrimp that's fine at home every
That's
day. I have
right.
like 20 shrimp.
My
They're
fish
good
is
if I
still
go out.
okay.
Didn't say
So
cat
we're
or
talking
dog.
about fish now. Okay, what about
You
you?
said pets, and we
You
have
said
fish.
pet.
What about you guys? Fish.
You talk to your fish.
Okay. The answer is negative. You
Yeah.
guys get the point.
Yeah. You need to
But
talk
you
to your
said
pet.
okay.
Long,
I didn't say that
long
they would be very
isolation
sad.
causes anxiety. Cheryl, you gotta do better. Okay?
My fish are okay.
But you don't know, maybe your fishes have anxiety now
Yeah.
and you're just unaware. They're crying in the water, but you cannot see.
Oh.
But they're okay.
Next question. Which of the following is true?
Okay.
A. Rubbing a cat's belly is a great way to show love. B. Birds don't need big cages since they don't fly indoors. C. It's okay to leave pets outside as long as there's shade and water.
Wow, this is worse than algebra. What do you think? That's
Is this another one of those? Like,
Three.
none of the above was
Oh
correct.
no.
2.
One is okay.
Okay, boards up. C.
I'm not sure what that
A.
is.
What about you
Yeah,
guys?
yeah.
C. They're actually
That's humanity.
all untrue. It's a trick question.
This is not animal abuse. This is contestant abuse.
Abuse. Take it up with my boss,
This should
Kumar.
have been an option of all
Kumar,
of
I'm
the
gonna
above.
rub your belly.
So cats don't like their bellies rubbed.
Oh, really? Yeah.
They
Not
don't
like
like
dogs.
Oh.
Birds need space just like any other pets. And long exposure to heat is very dangerous, so you can't leave your pets outside, especially in Singapore.
Yeah, too hot, see?
Next question. Essential oils help your pets feel calmer and are great for their skin. Positive or negative? Why you laugh at my question?
No, it's easy.
Is it a
It's
funny
okay.
Like, who
question?
is even
Yeah,
thinking
good.
about that, right?
The answers, let's see it.
Ta-da!
Negative. Essential oils is for humans.
Yes,
Same thoughts.
Same.
Yeah, because their sense of smell is very
Yeah.
strong. And by the way, certain essential oils are very toxic to your animals, like cinnamon,
Very good.
tea tree, eucalyptus. I think there's
Yeah.
more, yeah.
Cinnamon's
So-
poisonous to dogs.
Yeah. So
Yes,
therefore, we will agree. For dogs, is non-essential oils.
The answer is negative.
Negative.
Essential oils can be toxic to your pets, but coconut oil in very small quantities can be good for your pet's skin,
Wow.
breath, and things like that.
But that's not an essential
we're using
oil.
the term pet very loosely. I think my shrimp would not like any coconut oil on them. I feel like
We're not
you
really
need to go
talking about shrimp here, but
Cooking oil for your shrimp.
morbid pet abuse, animal abuse.
next question. Declawing your pets or clipping their ears and tail are for health reasons. Positive or negative?
Clipping.
Like, as in when they cull the cat.
When they cut.
Why would you do that to a regular cat at home?
Because some people do it to their dogs to make them pretty and stuff, right? So
Like it's like plastic surgery. Answers, please.
No.
The option was positive or negative.
sure, no.
This is.
We're answering the
we're answer-
question.
This is short message again. Negativity observed.
Negative
Negative.
is correct. These are very painful, unnecessary procedures, even when they're done by professionals. And unlike you, your pets don't need surgery to look good.
Wow.
They want to offend anyone by looking at them.
More
so-
aesthetic.
Oh, she's saying we need surgery.
Next question. In 2023, how many cases of animal cruelty, neglect, and abandonment were investigated in Singapore? Is it A, almost 100, B, almost 500, or C, almost 1,000?
In Singapore.
2023.
That is a heartbreaking.
In 2023. Answers, please.
The fact that it happens at all is awful.
Yeah,
but
I know.
The thought of saying C would have been just too heartbreaking.
Exactly.
Same.
I hope it's not C, man. That's a lot of abuse.
Sadly, the answer is C.
I did not want to say that.
According to the SPCA, this is an alarming 79% increase as compared to previous years.
Wow.
The highest in over a decade.
Oh no, but I'm
Interesting.
so sad now.
Stop
Stop
abusing your
abusing other
pets.
There are no winners in animal cruelty, but the winner of today's competition will be the Boomer team.
Why am I boomer?
I don't know, because you're with him.
I'm a
She's a
boomer by
zoomer.
association.
You guys win Shaw movie tickets and Movie Bites vouchers. Congrats.
So guys, we're going to talk about animal abuse.
Because it's an important episode.
Yes.
Yes.
So when to the
Public again.
public, yes. Everyone knows what animal abuse is.
Yeah.
And it's not that they don't love their pets, but sometimes they do it almost unknowingly. Things like overfeeding, underfeeding, maybe emotional neglect or whatever it is.
So it's not just violence.
Yeah, it's not that they don't love their animals, but
Yeah,
they just don't know.
My fur kid is fat.
I see.
So chubby, so chubby. Well, that's not healthy.
No, that's not healthy.
Not healthy. But then you have the cases where hoarding people who are trying to save animals, but they end up not being able to take care of that big number.
Yeah.
And you've seen, right, all the cats that were abandoned in a house that were like 80 over cats.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
all in terrible condition, but somebody was trying to save these cats. I'm so upset that they allow glue traps to be bought by just any member of the public because they want to get rid of
Is it a mice?
wild chicken.
Anything,
or
geckos,
geckos,
flies,
cockroaches, flies, and all that, which
rats.
already is cruel enough to these insects. There are humane ways of doing that, and then when it comes to the glue traps, it's trapping
Mouse.
snakes,
Mice, rat.
birds, kingfishers. All these animals are also.
That's
being-
torture.
Yeah.
They're death by torture.
I also think the government should also be very careful about throwing rat poison to kill the rats.
There are a lot of cases of dogs.
Because the dogs and cats would
This one.
Oh.
She went because of the rat poison.
Oh.
And nobody to complain to because there were already 80 dogs before me went the same way.
Oh.
Many areas of Singapore.
No way. And then you've got abuse, which is not necessarily a problem in society. Bird singing, bird in cages and singing. Birds in cages has proven to be a cruel thing.
It is,
What does
come
a
on.
bird do? It
Birds
flies.
fly.
So why are you putting it in a cage? Because I want to hear it sing. It's not singing, it's crying. When I see a pet store selling birds, all the birds going, they're all going mad in there, okay? So if you want to enjoy birds, be like the bird watching community. They go out there, take photos, and it's a beautiful way of enjoying nature. And then you got the ones who just go out there in the void decks and kill community cats. What does it say about the person doing it?
It says more about the person who's creating harm for the animal than it does.
Something's
about-
wrong with the
It's
person.
that the person has serious issues inside. It's really a mental
Yeah.
health issue. The more and more stressed a population becomes, the higher the rates of domestic violence and animal abuse.
But I tell you some story I know. There's this friend told me that her husband, whenever he's angry with the wife, he take it out on the dogs.
No. That's awful.
Yeah.
Disgusting behavior.
He whacked the dogs.
Because he's angry
with the wife. I told my friend they need to intervene.
How to protect the dog?
Need to intervene, like somebody have to intervene.
They know they should do something.
But I really think these kind of people should really be punished and should not be able to keep a pet for the rest of their life.
But
They
there
should
are
ban-
laws that punish people for animal
But it's not
abuse.
strict enough, eh?
Yeah.
Like, what's the current measures now? Because I don't own a pet.
Depends.
Yeah.
You see, like the groomer who left the corgi on the table, went for lunch, and then the corgi fell
Hung itself.
and choked. And her brother was on the other table crying.
There were other
Oh my
cases of the groomers as well where they did not take the advice of the owners properly and did not mentally take care of this dog because it was so nervous to the point that it died of a heart attack or something like that. It was really
So I feel these people should punish them the same way they did to the dog.
But for pet owners, do you all think that people can get pets a little too easily? If you
Yeah,
buy, is there any
only
screening
adopt.
process? No.
I would say only adopt.
No.
So
only
that
adopt.
sounds a bit messed up.
Never buy, only adopt. A lot of puppy mills is still a problem. And when you see a puppy, the mother is usually, if they bought this animal especially, the mother is a puppy mill. It's forever being kept in a cage. And we've come across rescues as well.
They're
the mother
so-
has never touched grass. The paws have never touched grass. Yes!
Yes.
The mill is in Singapore.
Yes!
They produce, and they forget that
And then-
this is also a living thing.
I might be wrong. There might be some checks and balances, but I don't think it's stringent enough to go and see exactly where. And I asked the fur baby's parents, where's the mother? They said, oh, we don't know. And they actually look guilty. So you actually know that they know that this is probably from a bred puppy mill. I'm not saying all are puppy mill puppies, but it's there, they're out there.
I really would encourage everybody to adopt. Adopt. There's so many animals who need homes. At one point, I had 10 cats, and they were all rescues. Another thing, if you adopt a pet or take care of an animal, it's for life. So I actually traveled with 7 of my cats.
I want to say hello to the Singapore community cat feeder population in Singapore. They really go out there and feed cats and dogs. And it's, you know, if you can support them, give them donations and all that. But I just spoke to them very recently, one of them. I said, do these cats want to be adopted? Really, that question. They said, yes, they do. But we have to make sure that it goes to a good home. Because some people say, oh yeah, nice free cat there. And then, oh, I cannot handle it, and they throw it back in the streets. So those animals, again, going through a traumatizing
That's what happened to the
situation.
year of the dog.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. When it comes to animals, right?
There's a spike in those types of pets.
Always. And then they get abandoned a year or two later.
No, but in general,
And
during
pets are for
COVID,
life.
everyone got pets because they were so lonely.
Yeah, and then the
the,
lives
the
is too
prices went sky
expensive.
high. And
Crazy.
then after COVID, abandoned.
When you say abandoned, as in those people just throw out the pets,
Yeah,
is it? Or
leave
they-
them on the road.
Huh?
Yeah.
They don't give them up to like SPCA.
Recently, there was the rabbits found at the bottom of the block. What?
I never.
Yeah, just a pair of rabbits.
The Lim Chu Kang area, people love to abandon cats and dogs there.
Yeah.
It's very irresponsible.
So some things that responsible pet owners have to do. Pets are for life. Pets need to be microchipped. They need to be desexed so they stop breeding, especially strays. New to them.
And you know what? There's no shame if you have an animal that you really can't take care of. Find somebody to adopt it. Don't just throw it out into the countryside or whatever.
Give it to someone. Give it to me.
Please. And then you've got other ones where people are smuggling in wildlife. Why? Because of the demand by irritating people of the public who want to keep wild animals.
Exotic.
Turtles,
right.
hamsters, whatever. you know?
That
A
has been
few years
campaigning.
ago, they found how Singapore was one of the biggest channels for trading.
All illegal wildlife trade because
It just goes through the port.
They will ship to Singapore because the receiving country, if they see that it's come from Singapore, they assume that it's safe.
Oh.
I don't know if there was no task force or there was not a large enough task force that had a mandate to look out for illegal wildlife trade. So it was only if they received a tip-off from source country that told Singapore that the shipment was coming, would the shipment be stopped.
Be checked.
Then you also have the trade in animal parts. You know, I worked on ivory for a very long time, the ivory trade, because we were pushing to change the legislation in Thailand. There was a legal loophole in Thailand that allowed for domestic Thai ivory to be sold. That meant that the world's ivory was being laundered through Thailand. 80% of the Asian consumer did not know that ivory comes from dead elephants.
Are you serious?
I didn't know
Did they
that.
say where they came from?
You didn't know that?
You mean it has to be dead?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't remove it without the elephant.
Oh.
They kill the as animals
No,
most
as
of
in,
the time, if not all the
definitely
time.
has to come from a dead elephant.
Yes.
Oh my
What they do is they chainsaw the front of the face of the elephant off.
Thank you.
Now, the beauty of my campaign was because 80% of people didn't know that ivory comes from dead elephants, all I had to do was educate. So I filmed in Thailand and I filmed the ivory markets and all of the places where you could get ivory. And we managed to change the laws in Thailand. After the legislation changed, I went back and I went to all of the places that we had covered. None of them had ivory anymore.
Nice.
The demand for ivory dropped, the number of elephants in Africa being killed dropped.
I think now you need to start another campaign, stop people from eating dog
You got
meat,
so
cat
many
meat.
things. You got dog meat, cat meat. You got pangolin as well.
Yeah,
And it's
Pangolin.
You've got the orangutans and palm oil, and the usual tiger and ivory, and shark's fin. And I think what's the main thing? If the demand stops, the supply stops.
Exactly.
But the good thing is, I think a lot of education has really lessened the
Yeah,
the
so I
demand.
think, yeah.
But it's still there, and I think, you know,
everyone should take a step forward and educate themselves and don't do it. So guys, Animal Abuse, learn a lot from you today. And also, I want to tell you, lately they started all this campaign about animal abuse in Singapore. You know, be kind to animals, be nice, adopt. Animal abuse is still going high. Last year was the 12 years highest animal abuse in Singapore. So please, pay attention to your kids, your pets, because we have family, we have friends, they only have you. With that, I say thank you very much for this episode. We will see you next time. Love you.